So today's adventure brings us back to the Blue Ridge Parkway, approximately around milepost 322. We're going to try to attempt to get down and see the waterfall named English Falls. It's known to be difficult, and it supposedly has, I think, 3 pretty steep vertical sections that require the use of ropes. Sorry for the car noise. Require the use of ropes to get down. This is something we're going to go and attempt to do. I'm just going to kind of go and see how bad it is. Seen some pictures and video online, but it's not, a lot of it's dated and it's not current. I'm hoping to, if I'm able to do this, to fix that today, and hopefully it'll be useful for others. Wondering if they can make it as a moderate to average or beginner to moderate hiker like myself. Read some comments on some of the Facebook groups saying that really just did some research on trying to figure out last time it rained, so we're just not getting into a mess so we can't just so it's not doable. But I think the last time it rained around here was Thursday afternoon, and it's Saturday now. It's about 2:30. So I think so far where I'm walking up here, you got to park back down there around this curve here. There's a little pull off you can park at. There's about 4 cars there today. But so far everything seems to be dry, so I think we're going to be okay as far as the trail conditions. So I believe the trail starts right here. It's very steep going downward. There's your mile marker right there. So it's literally just across the road. Used to be another pull off up there, but they've got some rocks, as you can see, kind of blocking that. I'm not sure what the store where that is, but we're gonna begin here. So as we start to go down, I'm gonna mention a few other things. The 2 most commented tips on just different various websites and groups, people were saying to bring gloves so you don't get rope burn on the ropes. I guess that'll make more sense once I get to the ropes and understand that better. Don't come after it's rain, which it is dry right here. I think we're gonna be good as far as that. And I've got my ropes. These are just kind of, I've got my gloves, sorry. These are kind of just some standard work gloves. Nothing too fancy. And someone has actually forgotten left one of theirs right here. Hope they're all right without them. All right, I'm not gonna have the phone out a whole lot through this because I think it's gonna be kind of this steep the whole way. You can kind of start to slide, so I'm gonna need all the balance I can get, so I'm gonna continue on. Really haven't been going too far so far, but to the point to where I'm at, you can easily make out the trail. It has been very dry so far. Starting to hear the water a little more and more as I go. There are several trees kind of along the side, so once in a while you can kind of grasp one to give yourself a minute to rebalance. Honestly, one of the things I was worried about is not being able to make the trail out, but it's perfectly fine. Not sure if I mentioned before, but this trail is, I think it's 0.4 miles to the falls. It's not very long, just very steep. Haven't passed anyone yet or seen any people yet, but there were other cars besides mine. Can't imagine what else they'd be doing around here. You can see where someone has cut these limbs. This will be kind of recent. Cut them off the trail. This is kind of flattened out right here. Leave a comment below if you know what that is. I think that's table rock. I'm not certain, not educated enough on all these mountains and hills. I think it's table rock though. If I'm wrong, leave a comment. Getting louder and louder. Come up on this one tree here. We met one person down here towards the bottom. Actually, two trails. I think that this one, if you continue on, will take you to the creek, they said. If you go down here, going towards the falls. So I'm gonna let this gentleman come up. Just kind of hang out here for a second. That way I don't mess him up. So I crossed paths with two people, or two more people, in addition to the one that I was waiting on, which we're still waiting on him. I think he's waiting on someone at the bottom to catch their breath. But the two people I crossed paths with, just off one of the side trails here, had two small dogs with them. I'm not sure how they're planning to do that. I did get a look at the first drop that you have to use the ropes to rappel down, and it's pretty steep. So I'm not really sure what their plan is with the dogs. If they're even, hopefully they just won't even attempt to do it. You ain't got both your hands. I can't imagine how you could do it. But there's a little small runoff down here, so I'm gonna try and step down here while we're waiting, because it may be a little bit. And we'll continue on. We made it down to where the little small fall is. Not sure if there's a name for this or not. Someone knows, they can tell me. There's this one here, and you had to kind of meander down through all that. Kind of hard to see it because of the sun. And there's also a little bitty small one right here. And it runs off into another one. I think we may be on top of the English Falls right here. I think we may be standing near the top of it. I could be wrong, but this is running off here, and I'm wondering if it drops down once and then maybe one more time, and that's really the top of it, I'm wondering. Kind of a nice addition if you wasn't planning to see it. I'm gonna hang out here for a second. I'm gonna head back up and see if we got a clearing to get down. Alright, so I waited and waited here for a period of time, and ended up being a group of 4 men that come back up, and a lady was with them. And they were all volunteer firefighters training as an exercise if someone were to get stuck down here, and they had a stretcher and all. I guess trying to make it a real life situation if someone were to get hurt down there and they had to get them out. And while they were standing here just kind of talking at the top of this hill here, which is the first run to go down, the other two were standing here waiting. And both of them had Crocs on. So they come right here at the top. There's a little rock you can kind of stand over there. Took their shoes off and went down this thing barefoot. So there's not a rope here anymore. This is May the 1st, 2021. They took the rope out because it had several tears in it. And out of my own ignorance, I kind of banked on there being a rope here, which I know is not the right thing, but there's things posted online saying that people were here yesterday and the rope was here, and they were appreciative of whoever left the rope or put it in place or whatever. But I'm really debating on now. I've got the right shoes on, I've got gloves, you know, I've got everything but a rope. I'm debating on if they even want to do it. I certainly ain't doing it if I don't see these two people come back up through here with no shoes on at all. And they've got two small dogs with them. I don't know, I'm just kind of hanging out. It's still kind of early in the day, so there's no rush. I'm gonna chill and see what happens. All right, so 30 minutes later, the couple made it back up, dogs in hand. Now notice if you look close, I'm not gonna zoom in because I'm kind of holding on by a tree limb here, but the dirt is where it's just worn so much, it's almost like steps right here. It's very steep, but it's almost like steps. So I'm down the first run, and I'm getting ready to go down the next. And then by what they said, it's not very far from up there. Probably gonna keep the phone up until I get to the bottom, just so I've got both my hands free. Here goes nothing. All right, so I made it down all the verticals that way. I think this is the last one. We kind of have to step down over these rocks, which I don't think will be too bad. It won't be near as bad as getting down all that dirt. Ended up sliding down to most of it, but I think going back up, there's enough warm places in the dirt that, I mean, it's gonna be tiring going back up, but it's not gonna be as bad as I thought. So we're gonna continue on from here. Step down here, and then the next one, and then probably just hop down easily. And then we're on down towards the falls. I can kind of see it through the trees here in the distance. Here we go. The rocks wasn't too bad. I'm gonna give you a different shot how they were. And the trail runs right beside of it. So I think you can go down two paths. I'm gonna go down the one that goes right in front of it instead of this one. But as far as I can see, I think it's maybe a little easier or make more sense to go that way. Just trying to give you the realest perspective as possible. The title of the video is gonna say no ropes in it, but I'm just gonna say it again. There are no ropes here currently. Bring your own rope. Alright, so I've been down here at the falls for probably half an hour or so. Fixing to make the trek back. Video photos probably don't do it justice. Totally worth it. Alright, so I made it to the top of the hard part anyway. The rest of this is uphill, but it'll be easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little outro here. Overall, it wasn't quite as bad as what some of the things you read online, different websites, all trails, some of the North Carolina trails, like the Facebook groups and some other things. I mean, if you have, just be smart. I mean, if you have any kind of disability or, a bad leg or asthma or, just anything that you shouldn't if you just have, you have no business doing it, don't do it. But I'm 35. I consider myself a beginner to moderate hiker, somewhere in the middle. By no means experienced. I did it with no ropes, down and back up. There's not any ropes. I've said that several times, just making that clear. But if you've been thinking about doing it and you're worried that, maybe it's just too much, even though you've done other things, I would say go for it. I would recommend bringing your own rope, because it's going to make coming back up a whole lot easier. Going down wasn't so bad. I just slid down part of it on my butt, but coming back up, the ropes would be a lot easier. So that's going to do it for today. We'll continue the rest of the way. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching.